Hey, empathic healers. Our journal prompt for today: how do you react or respond to negativity? Do you have your journal? If not, go grab your journal, come journal with me, and let's dig a little deeper. So today we're going to talk about acceptance and being the observer in the third eye chakra energy. So welcome to the Energy Healing Lifestyle Journal Self-Care Challenge Day 34. I had to check. Days go by so quickly. You can hear me okay. It sounds like this is rubbing. Sorry. So again, in case you're new to me, my name is Robin Knott, and I'm your host of Energy Healing TV and podcast on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify, and the founder of the energyhealingschool.com. So again, in the journaling process, we want to be aware, assess, and then align with the source of unconditional love, right? So we start with our journal prompt. Again, literally wrote it down. How do you react / or respond? And I'll share what I feel the difference of the two are to negativity. So we write that down and then we wait as if we were asking someone else a question, right? We write it down to ask ourselves, and we tune in, we check in with ourselves to see what comes up and then write it. So even if it seems completely out on left field, if you will, write it anyways. So for me, what came up was depend. It depends. Depends on the situation, depends on the type of negativity, where it's coming from, who it's coming from, how intense it is, right? So it depends on the situation. We talked yesterday, so there's slight difference between today and yesterday's conversation. Yesterday, we talked more about how we communicate when we are met with negativity, when we're around, when we experience negativity. How do we communicate it, right? Passively, aggressively, assertively. Still based around the triggers to those trauma reactions, or some call it a trauma response, the fight, flight, freeze mode. So let me back up for a minute just to clarify. In the situation, when I say react, that's what I mean. Like the trauma reaction is quick. Just there's a trigger and we react, right? It's almost instant. You poke the bear reacts. Where responding would be when we're centered, we're grounded into our, within our body, we're calm, tuned in, and then we can respond. Like we process the information that we're receiving, hearing it all the way through, determining what our feeling is on it, or our thoughts are on it specifically, and then respond to that, because the reactions oftentimes aren't actually reacting to the situation in itself. Like if somebody says something triggering, when we do that quick reaction, it's not always a reaction of what they said. It's a reaction to what we relate it to. So whatever was going on before that got triggered, we're actually reacting to that, because we might misunderstand what's actually being said in some situations. I know there's differences in all of them. So just kind of generalizing, right? And being mindful, because third eye chakra, again, remember, is about our inner knowing, getting to know ourselves more, what's going on with us on the inside, right? Inside and out. But getting into that observer mode so we can just take a look and be aware, be more aware, be fully aware before we respond in situations. Sometimes what we think is negativity isn't actually negativity, right? So someone mentioned about communication. Sometimes it's constructive criticism that can feel very negative, depending on what we're used to, right? Or if we're used to that criticism and that judgmental conversations, and we do that to ourselves. And when we hear constructive criticism, it might feel the same to us, even though it's not meant to be. So there is a difference in that, which is why I want to point out too the difference between reacting and responding. So when we're responding, we're hearing it all the way through. We can see that it was just someone trying to be helpful, sharing an opinion or a tip maybe that could be useful for us, not necessarily criticism, right? I honestly don't even like that term constructive criticism because of the word criticism in it. Like, it's just feedback, right? Or a suggestion or an opinion. Either way, the point of today is to, before we react, we stop. If we are feeling like we're going to react because we feel triggered on something, that fight, flight, freeze mode, defending ourselves, stop ourselves, center, ground into our bodies, right? Get in that calm mode and really, again, hear the whole thing out or see the whole thing out. Really go deeper within and trust our inner knowing so that we can process and respond more clearly and assertively and truthfully, really. Because again, if we're reacting to something that isn't even actually a situation, then it's not even factual, if you will. So third eye chakra in my acronyms, right? Self-care, first of all, the A in the care, self-care, is acceptance. So you can see it scrolling around on the bottom there. I have the words acceptance and observer and third eye chakra, right? All affects the energy there in the third eye chakra. Acceptance can be very challenging because, again, we have that misunderstanding, really, of what acceptance means. Acceptance isn't a free pass for people to treat us poorly. Acceptance doesn't toss out accountability for what other people do. Acceptance doesn't toss out accountability for what we do and what we choose to do, right? Acceptance releases the baggage of whatever the junk was that happened that we've been lugging around. That's it. That's it. So when we can get into, and oftentimes it's called radical acceptance because it's challenging. Some things are challenging to accept. But that radical acceptance is just that. It's the idea of I'm making a choice to release the anger and resentment that I've been carrying around because of the situation that occurred or situations that are occurring, however it may be. But what's occurring now, I can make a choice for me, right? And move away from that if need be. Seeing something for what is, and we need that ability also to radically accept in order to make those changes. But because until I am willing to make that shift, that choice to radically accept something as it is, then I really don't change anything. I spend so much time, I always do my pen situations, right? I spend so much time debating or stuck on this pen is blue and not purple. Usually I want the blue pen, but this one's blue. This pen is blue and not purple. So instead of just accepting that it's blue and go look for a purple pen, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be angry and I'm going to resent the fact that this pen that I have in my hand is blue and not purple. And you can't make me like it. And you can't make me accept it. And you can't, right? It's too heinous to accept that this is blue and not purple. What am I doing? Right? What am I doing? I'm focusing my energy on a situation, keeping myself stuck and frustrated and angry and resentful instead of accepting that this is a blue pen and then changing my situation to find a purple one. Again, I get it. I'm talking about pens as an example, and it's not how real life, like trauma situations go. It's not the same. I get that. But the baggage and the what it does to us, lugging it around, that's not great either, right? So we want to be able to clear that out and heal for us, not anybody else, for us, because we deserve that. We don't deserve to carry the baggage. We didn't deserve the trauma. So if you don't deserve the trauma, you certainly don't deserve to keep lugging around the baggage of the trauma over and over for the rest of your life now, right? At some point, you deserve to be able to heal from it. You don't have to forget it. Again, it's not minimizing, giving free passes. But at some point, you deserve to feel better. And that's where I'm going with this. So we want to be aware of where we're at. What might our triggers be when it comes to negativity, to see, do we react or respond? And if so, how for each, right? Bring in as much self-awareness as you can. Assess what's going on for you. So in each of those situations, is it in alignment with the source of unconditional love? And if it's not, then what is one action step we can take to move towards the source of unconditional love? Journaling is one action step, right? Holding space for yourself to feel it so we can heal it is an action step. Radical acceptance is a massive action step, right? Shifting up into observer mode is an action step to be able to look at it. So here's my situation on the piece of paper. Instead of being in it, I'm looking at it, right? I'm observing it. It's very different than feeling pushed and pulled and just being consumed by it, by your daily lives, by your daily, all the thoughts that go through our minds and how our feelings and, emotions get pushed and pulled within that process. It's very different to be able to just observe it. What else? What else do we have? Let me check my journal. So we got observer mode, radical acceptance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't explain it in the same way that I wrote it, but I did at least cover it. So there's that. Let me check comments here real quick. Hey, Rebecca. Rebecca says, hey, my girl, how are you? I decided to come on and do it. I told Rebecca, I don't even want to do the live today. I'm accepting that I'm tired. Rebecca said, sorry, my phone died while we were chatting. No worries. None at all. Thanks for hopping on. Rebecca says, love you big. Love you too. Thank you. I was just wrapping up. I don't know how much of it you heard, but I was talking about kind of radical acceptance and how it relieves us from that baggage that we carry when we are in situations, and then the difference of getting into that observer modes, because it's very different than just having something fill our brains and push and pull us all day long versus just being able to look at it without all that emotional. You still have feelings, but without the emotional chaos that goes along with it, right? Becca says, I just got here. No worries. I appreciate it. We'll keep it short and save the battery on your phone. How's that? So as always, I'm going to go right for the homework, girl. Check in with yourself. Continue to journal. Be aware, right? Increase your self-awareness. Assess where you're at. If you're not already in alignment with the source of unconditional love, think of what is that action step you can take to get into this, closer to the source of unconditional love. If you haven't already, sign up for the Empathic Healers Masterclass, a step-by-step guide to set boundaries and protect your energy. So if you are dealing with that negative energy, feeling consumed by it, like you lose yourself, or it's just overwhelming and intense, you definitely want to sign up. And then meet me back here tomorrow. I will definitely be back tomorrow, and then we'll see where we go from there. Rebecca said observer mode is very useful. I think so too. Thank you. It's done me wonders. Definitely done me wonders. So again, thank you, Rebecca, for coming on live. Anyone else who hopped on live, you're back for the replay, and I shall see you tomorrow. So much love. Bye, guys.